Imagine every time you finally start getting ahead financially, you do something to mess it up. You get a raise, then suddenly you're eating out 5 nights a week. You save $1,000, then convince yourself you deserve that new gadget. You set a budget on Sunday, and by Tuesday, it's forgotten. It's like there's a part of you that's terrified of actually succeeding with money. Well, I'm Ethan, and I used to be that person. For years, I watched myself make the same destructive choices over and over, wondering why I couldn't just stop. And here's what I learned. Self-sabotage isn't about being lazy or undisciplined. It's deeper than that. It's about the stories we tell ourselves, the fears we're running from, and the invisible scripts written in our childhood that still control our wallets today. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to walk you through why we do this to ourselves and the exact steps that help me break the cycle. Because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. And that's when everything changes. Let me tell you about my friend Sarah. She's 27, works in marketing, makes decent money, and somehow always ends up broke by the end of the month. Not because of rent or bills, those get paid. It's everything else. The midweek happy hours, the impulse Amazon purchases at midnight, the treat-yourself brunches that happen way too often. One day she asked me, "Why do I keep doing this? I know better." And that question, that's where it starts. Because Sarah does know better. We all do. The issue isn't knowledge. It's something way more complicated. Here's the thing about money self-sabotage. It usually traces back to one of 3 core beliefs. First, there's the "I don't deserve this" mentality. Maybe you grew up hearing that money doesn't grow on trees, or that people like you don't get rich, or that wanting money makes you greedy. Those messages, they stick. And decades later, when you finally have some money saved, your subconscious whispers, "This isn't for you," and suddenly you're spending it before you even realize what happened. Second, there's the fear of change. This one's sneaky because it doesn't feel like fear. It feels like comfort. You've always been the broke friend, the one who jokes about eating ramen and overdrafting your account. It's part of your identity. So when you start actually building wealth, it feels wrong, like you're betraying who you are. And third, this is the big one. There's the belief that if you succeed, you'll lose something important. Maybe you think your friends will resent you, or your family will ask for handouts, or you'll turn into one of those people you always criticized. So you sabotage yourself to stay safe, to stay connected, to stay you. I lived all 3 of these patterns. Let me take you back to 2019. I had just gotten my first real paycheck from a freelance project, $3,500, the most money I'd ever made at once. I was 24, barely scraping by, and suddenly, I had breathing room. For about 48 hours, I felt incredible. Then the panic set in. Suddenly, I was thinking, what if this is the last good project I ever get? What if I'm not actually good enough to earn this kind of money again? So I started spending. New laptop I didn't need, expensive dinners, rounds of drinks for everyone at the bar. Within 3 weeks, it was gone. All of it. And you know what I told myself? See, you're just not good with money. This is who you are. But that wasn't true. The truth was, I was terrified of success because I'd never seen it modeled in my family. I was scared that having money would separate me from the people I loved, who were all still struggling. And deep down, I didn't believe I deserved it because I had internalized every message about people from my background not being money people. The breakthrough came when I stopped trying to fix my behavior and started examining my beliefs. I started asking myself, what am I really afraid of? What do I think will happen if I keep this money? And I wrote down every answer, no matter how ridiculous it seemed. Some of them were pretty dark. My family will hate me. I'll become selfish. I'll forget where I came from. Here's what I learned. You can't change a pattern you don't understand. So I did the work. I talked to a therapist who specialized in financial psychology. Yes, that's a real thing. I joined a money support group where we talked openly about our financial trauma and patterns. And I started practicing something called building tolerance for success. Here's how it works. Instead of getting a big chunk of money and immediately panicking, I started with small wins. I'd save $20 and sit with the discomfort of having it, not spending it, just having it. Then 50, then 100, building up my nervous system's ability to hold on to money without freaking out. Now let me give you the practical stuff that actually works. Strategy 1, automate the hell out of everything. You know why? Because willpower is a limited resource, and you can't trust your sabotaging brain when it's tired or stressed. Set up automatic transfers the day your paycheck hits. Savings account, investment account, whatever. Just make it automatic. The money disappears before you can sabotage it. Strategy 2. Separate your safe money from your spending money. Keep your savings in a completely different bank if you have to. Make it annoying to access. That friction? That's your friend. It gives your rational brain time to catch up with your impulsive brain. Strategy 3. Name your money. This sounds weird, but it works. Instead of just savings, call it your freedom fund or your never stuck again money. Give it emotional meaning. Make it about something bigger than just numbers in an account. Strategy 4. Get an accountability partner who understands the psychology. Not someone who's going to judge you, but someone who gets that this isn't about being dumb or lazy. It's about rewiring deep patterns. Check in with them weekly. Tell them what you're struggling with. Celebrate the wins, even the tiny ones. And strategy 5, this is crucial. Redefine what success means to you. For me, success used to mean never worrying about money. That felt impossible, so I'd give up before I started. Now, success means making one better decision today than I did yesterday. That I can do. That doesn't trigger my sabotage response. But here's the thing. All these strategies are band-aids if you don't do the deeper work. You have to get honest about your money story. What did your parents teach you about money? Not what they said, but what they modeled. Did they fight about it? Did they hoard it? Did they pretend it didn't exist? Those patterns are running in the background of your brain like an operating system. And until you identify them and choose to install a new system, they'll keep running the show. I had to grieve, honestly. Grieve the childhood I didn't have, where money was safe and abundant instead of scarce and scary. Grieve the years I lost to self-sabotage, the opportunities I missed because I was too afraid to hold on to money. That grief? It's not weakness. It's the doorway to change. When you stop sabotaging yourself with money, everything changes, but not in the way you think. You don't suddenly become rich. You don't turn into a different person. But you start sleeping better because you're not carrying constant financial anxiety. You start making decisions based on what you actually want, not just what you can afford in the moment. You start feeling like you have options. And options? That's real freedom. Last month, I had a client cancel a big project last minute. 3 years ago, that would have sent me into a spiral of panic and bad decisions. This time, I just handled it. Checked my emergency fund, adjusted my budget, and moved on. No drama, no self-destruction, just adult decision-making. And I'm not gonna lie, that felt weird at first. Like, wait, who am I if I'm not constantly in crisis? But you get used to it. And then you get to like it. And then you can't imagine going back. So if you're stuck in the cycle of self-sabotage, I want you to know something. You're not broken. You're not bad with money. You're not doomed to struggle forever. You're just operating on outdated programming that made sense at some point in your life but doesn't serve you anymore. The good news? Programming can be rewritten. It takes time. It takes honesty. It takes sitting with some uncomfortable feelings. But it's possible. I've done it. Thousands of people have done it. And you can too. Start small. Pick one strategy from this video and commit to it for 30 days. Track what comes up. Notice when the sabotage voice starts talking. Get curious about it instead of judging it. And remember, every time you make a different choice, you're building a new neural pathway. Every time you sit with the discomfort, instead of spinning it away, you're proving to yourself that you can handle this. You're not trying to become someone else. You're becoming who you actually are, underneath all those old stories and fears. And that person? They're pretty damn capable with money. Remember that $3,500 I told you about at the beginning? The money I blew in 3 weeks because I was terrified of having it? Well, 2 months ago, I got a similar payment. $4,000 this time. And you know where that money is right now? Still sitting in my investment account, growing, working for my future. Not because I have perfect willpower or because I'm suddenly a different person, but because I did the work. I rewired the fear. I built tolerance for success. That's the difference 3 years of intentional change makes. And if I can do it, someone who spent years convinced he was just bad with money, so can you. Your next paycheck, your next windfall, your next opportunity, it doesn't have to end the way mine used to. You get to write a different ending. Starting right now, I'm Ethan. And if you stuck with me till the end, please hit that subscribe button. It helps more people break free from these patterns. Now go rewrite your money story. I'll be here cheering you on.